A new campaign to yank Prince Harry's upcoming award, plus Prince William's growing influence within the royal fold, and a potential Princess of Wales sighting.
And over here in the UK, in southwest London, because I'm at Wimbledon, but I will be bringing news of what's going on in the Prince and Princess of Wales's life.
Oh my goodness, I'm so jealous. You're right now you're at Wimbledon, but can we talk about Ascot? I mean, I felt like I was watching a celebrity every time I'd see you on the screen. You were with the Fawns. Was this the greatest Ascot ever? I mean, that would look like a blast.
Well, I mean, I've been doing it for 4 years, and you've probably been alive, Kinsey. It would be inappropriate to be asked how old you are, but I have been working at Ascot from the mid-90s. So I do know it well, and I have, over the years, met some interesting people. But I have to say, meeting Hollywood royalty in the Fonz, and he was being feted extraordinary. He was presented a prize, and the Queen, that's Queen Camilla, insisted on meeting him. So he was brought down. He was presenting a prize, and I was hanging around and but it was made quite clear that the Queen, after she presented the trophy on the final day, that she wanted to go and talk to the Fonz, because I believe the Fonz writes children's book, and one of the things the Queen does, and I know we're going slightly off topic with regard to the Prince and Princess of Wales, is she's very keen on promoting reading for children and adults. So it is something dear to her heart. So I have to say, it was a pleasure. And you could see how much, I think the Queen and the Fonz had met, but it was extraordinary seeing him sort of talking to the crowd, and it was sort of basking in his glow of brilliance, you know. But what I did realize is how small he was. They haven't out what the rest of the size of Happy Days cast were, because he looked like the biggest. So, but anyway, he's 78 or 9 now, and he was it was as joyous as ever to meet him at Royal Ascot, and all the other things that went on during the weekend, you know, meeting interesting people, doing interesting things. But obviously, from a sports journalist point of view, which is my other hat, loved the racing, and with my royal hat on, also loved what was going on through that week in terms of the royal family, because what was interesting, you could genuinely see that the King and Queen enjoyed being there. And Prince of Wales was there on one day, on the Wednesday, he presented the prize. He too enjoyed being there, but obviously it was sad that he was unaccompanied, but you could see, what it meant to him to be there. He looked like he enjoyed himself.
You're absolutely right. And you are my sports guru. So I did think you would probably be the best person to talk to about this story. Sussex.com has announced that Prince Harry is to receive a new award, adding to that large trophy mantle that Harry and Meghan Markle have in their Montecito house. The website says among the esteemed recipients is Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, who will be honored with the Pat Tillman Award for service. This accolade celebrates individuals in the sports world who have made significant contributions to others, echoing the legacy of former NFL player and U.S. Army Ranger Pat Tillman. And now I'm sure you are a little bit familiar with his story. Pat Tillman was an NFL player who played for the Arizona Cardinals. He really shocked the sports world when he gave up millions. It was over $3 million, that contract as a football player to enlist in the Army after 9/11. Then was killed in Afghanistan. It was by friendly fire, but for years his mother searched for the truth because that was not the initial story. And so he truly is an American hero. This is a very compelling story. A man that lived the life of service that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle said they were going to live when they left the royal family. You know that there have been petitions. You know that other people from ESPN have spoken out, and now Pat Tillman's mother. Can you tell me your first reaction when you heard about Prince Harry receiving this award?
He does seem to be getting more awards than anybody else seems to be getting. And you go, at home. Because we're lucky sometimes if, people go through in your tinsel town desperate for that one coveted Oscar. But he does seem to be getting more than his fair share. Now, it might be done with all the best intentions, but it does seem, okay, he served in the army. He also served in Afghanistan. And bearing in mind that Pat Tillman served in Afghanistan as well, but there is a link there. And the one thing Harry did do, and okay, we got some of the gory details of what he did, which upset service personnel in the book Spare. So I can see, yes, why, and the Invictus Games is a very significant development and has been well received within the service personnel around the world. So that is important. But it just, unfortunately, feels... I can see where Pat Tillman's mother is coming from, because there would be other people as well. But it is interesting. I believe Serena Williams, obviously my tennis connection here, is going to be presenting the award. And obviously she is a friend of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So I hope it's been done for the right reasons. But it just... If you've got the mother of the person who's award complaining, let's be honest, that's not a good look.
That's right. And she insists that ESPN did not consult her. When it came to Prince Harry's nomination, she said to the Daily Mail, "I'm shocked as to why they would select such a controversial and divisive individual to receive the award." Because again, to remind you, Pat Tillman has a beautiful, huge, over-the-top life-size statue outside of the Cardinals Stadium in Arizona. This man is considered an American hero. And she added that she thinks there are more deserving individuals who could have received the award, unsung heroes who don't have Prince Harry's massive platform or privilege. And then, I just think a lot of people are looking at Pat Tillman, who sacrificed his life, left the comforts of the glitz and glamour and the bank account to serve his country. They look at Prince Harry, and Prince Harry left that life of service. Invictus is great, like you said, but he left that 24/7, 365 days a year job as a person that lived this life of service under the royal family umbrella to chase the red carpet, to chase the Hollywood glitz and glamour next to his actress wife.
Well, I wonder whether if he was still working in the royal family, would they still give him the award? That's the question you have to ask. Would they, if they, because he would.
Does Harry show up, or how often does Prince William show up to accept awards all over the place?
Well, he runs the Earthshot Award, but I haven't seen him accept awards. So that would be the question I'd be asking the ESPN people. Yes, they can say the Invictus Game, but if he was still living with his wife, working on behalf of the royal family, would he have got the award? If they say yes, then that's fine, but it'd be an easy thing to say. But if it's because he's in America and he brings cachet to the ESPN brand, they think, then that is wholly wrong, because an award like that on behalf of a man who sacrificed a glittering sporting career on behalf of his country, as you quite rightly say, then you have to look at, not necessarily Harry, because he might be finding Sonny in the middle of something that he didn't necessarily want. ESPN need to be the ones who look at themselves, because if they didn't consult with Pat Tillman's mother, according to what she said in the Mail, they didn't, then they need to take a look at, because if anyone runs an award, you probably want to say to the person whose name it's in honor, you want to be talking to the family, are you happy?
Mm.
And that would be my take on it. So from a perspective, Harry may be the innocent in this, however, but he hasn't turned it down.
Right, that's so obviously. I was saying that because that was my point. I've been making around all day around my house, and my significant other is like, "There's no way." My point is, if I heard that the mother of the person that I was receiving an award in honor of was unhappy about it, as a decent human being, I would say I'm going to politely decline, because I respect her wishes, and I feel like I do live a life of privilege, and my significant other's like, no, why would he do that?
Yeah. Well, you can see this is this is the problem for Harry. I mean, he's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't. So that tends to be the problem at the moment with him. But he has created this problem for himself, and that is part of the problem. But it does seem to me that now all he seems to do is be a professional award gatherer in America, which is a bit harsh, because look, he did some good work. We saw a nice video of him talking to service parents the other day for his charity, where for people who've lost for children who've lost their fathers or service personnel in conflict. A very good charity, and he's involved in that. So this is the dichotomy with Harry. He is very good at these things, but sadly his life has changed irreversibly now. Gone to America, and it's a different ballgame. And right now, I think he shouldn't necessarily think that receiving awards, when he's trying to re-establish himself in the eyes of not only the British public, but also trying to cement his place within American society. And that's not easy when you're going around still calling yourself the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and also your children are prince and princesses.
All right, I'm going to kind of breeze through this story because it's a bit of a nothing burger, but the Express and New York Post reporting that Meghan Markle may call on some of her Suits co-stars to help in her new Lemonada podcast. This is coming from Kaylee Cornelius, and she said initially we might expect Meghan to call in favors from her remaining friends and work through her network. She specifically mentions Priyanka Chopra, who I don't believe Meghan associates with anymore, who did not appear on Meghan's Archetypes podcast. Other potential guests, Abigail Spencer, who is still very close to Meghan Markle, who was on Suits, Wendell Pierce, who's recently spoken positively about Meghan Markle, who played her father in Suits. I feel like it's a step back for Meghan to call on anybody from Suits to appear on her Lemonada podcast. I think she aspires to be more and wants to be remembered for something else and wants to be this entrepreneur. And Suits is, that is in the rearview mirror. What is your opinion?
Well, Suits is being shown over here back now on the BBC. They've paid a lot of money for it, and and it's doing well. I mean, it's a sort of a glorified soap opera.
Yeah.
It did well of its time. It is what it is, and she was in it. She earned a lot of money out of it, but it does feel retrograde if she's having to call on members of the cast that she has, kept very little contact with. And wasn't there that moment of some ceremony when they all thought the Suits cast were all getting together, and the one who was conspicuous by her absence was the Duchess of Sussex. So if she's going for this podcast, what annoyed that we're doing a podcast, the thing about her podcast that sort of annoyed me, it shouldn't be about her. If you are the interviewer, and this is why, look, I go back to tennis. The Serena Williams one should have been the biggest thing she could have done and really made it a revelation. If she tapped into Serena Williams's life story on and off the court, that would have got people listening all over the world. But instead, Meghan couldn't resist making it about her at times. And she did it with some of the other people she had on. What she should be doing, yes, if she's got a very good contact, then the point is, right, I'm the link. I want you to tell your story and make it about that person. The problem is, I sometimes feel that Meghan can't let go and wants it to be about her. So then why have anybody on as guests? So if she's getting Suits people who, with all due respect, you've mentioned a few names. I know I'm not necessarily the target market of Suits, but let's be honest, they're not A-list.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, with all due respect to those people,
yeah,
because good actors and actresses they may be, but they're not A-list.
Right. All right. So you just mentioned Wimbledon again. Let's talk. First of all, did you see Sir David Attenborough there today?
He was there today. David Beckham was there today. So, usual. Well, amazing. David Beckham always coming. He comes with his mother. Obviously, so he was there. David Attenborough was there. The Royal Box is a good ticket to get. David Attenborough is an icon in this country, as he is probably globally for what he does. And look, he's in his 90s, and he's still got it. He's still completely compos mentis. It's obviously a hot topic over in your country about people in their 80s and 90s, but we're not going there. Promise you, Kinsey, we're not going there. But he is a man still incredibly relevant.
Absolutely. I did see that he got a standing ovation, which I thought was very sweet. But there are whispers that organizers are hopeful that the Princess of Wales might appear. They say that this is one of the most anticipated appearances when it comes to the Princess of Wales every year. And in a new interview, All England Club chair, now is it Debbie Jevons? Is that her name?
Debbie Jevons. She used to be a tennis player herself, but she is in charge chairperson at Wimbledon. And look, and I can tell you, the Princess of Wales is patron. She loves her tennis. And Duke of Kent was the long-standing patron, and his wife, Duchess of Kent. And they always used to present the trophies. Back in the day, there was famous pictures of Duchess of Kent consoling Jana Novotná when she blew a chance of victory, and she was left in tears, and there's lovely pictures of the Duchess of Kent doing that. But the Princess of Wales is a natural successor in many ways because she loves her tennis, loves her sport, and it's hopeful. They put out a statement, look, they'll be talking to Kensington Palace because they will always to manage to see what happens. And it's a bit like with the King. You know, will he, won't they, will he come out? And everyone will hope she will. It is in that private, public sort of kind of role, a bit like Royal Ascot, which is a private event for the royal family, but let's be honest, it's a pretty public occasion. And the same would apply to the Princess of Wales coming here. She loves her tennis. She wants to be here. But obviously, if she's going to be sitting through a 4-hour match, that might not be so straightforward. So, but I'm sure people would understand if she dips in and out. But look, if it's something for only person who will ultimately make the call will be the Princess of Wales. She dearly would love to be here. But we still are none the wiser, really, of how her recovery is progressing since we saw her at the King's birthday parade at the beginning of last month.
Yeah, very absolutely true. And just to reiterate, she told the Telegraph, all we've said is that we'll work with her and give her as much flexibility as possible. Feels like a kind of audacious statement when the whole wide world is, so obsessed with the Princess of Wales right now. But just to repeat it's day by day. We want her to be healthy. We'll take her whenever we get her. No pressure whatsoever.
Well, there has been speculation. I think the All England Club are probably right to say it. It nips it in the bud because what they're going to get all fortnight is she coming? Is she not coming?
Yes.
So by saying that, they're saying we'll let you know if she is. We've nipped it in the bud because why not get it up first day of the championship? Because we know she is the patron. She would normally be there. Every journalist who's covering the event is probably going to want to know. There will be news journalists down here who will be covering the social side of it, whatever, the royal box, who's in the house, which celebrities are in town. So I think they are right to put out to say, look, we'll be guided. If she can come, we'll do the best to make it as easy a visit as is possible for her. Whether she just comes to one day, maybe the ladies' final on Saturday week or the men's final, just depending on how she feels and whether she wants to be there. But it will be something that will have to be seen. I don't think we would see it till that weekend. But if she's missing it and feels that she would want to come here, quietly come in, watch some tennis, go back away. Look, she wouldn't do it quietly because we'd have to see her sitting. She's sitting in the royal box. We're all going to know. But I tell you what, she'll be very warmly received if she is here by the public because, as we saw at the King's birthday parade, people were delighted to see her during that couple of hours. But obviously, we haven't seen her since.
That's right. I know you've got to get back to the courts, so I'm going to make this one really quickly. This is our final story. There's a new royal power list. This is according to the Daily Beast. They say that Prince William beats King Charles in this power list. They said there is a sense that William has stepped into the Prince Philip role. Philip ruled the family with a rod of iron, and you saw when he died that discipline collapsed. They claim Now William is calling the shots when it comes to family discipline, and they say he can be scary. They did say the most notable effect on his role as enforcer is the absolute ban on Prince Harry returning in any way, shape, or form to the royal family. What's your reaction to that?
Well, look, I think we obviously know with his father being ill himself, obviously Prince William, as the heir to the throne, has to sort of slightly step up and take off some of the burden off his father, because obviously in time he will become king himself. And I think it's all part of probably the learning curve. The royal family has gone through quite a lot, not only the Princess of Wales, the king himself. We've also had the Princess Royal clobbering herself with a horse. And okay, she came out of hospital last week. She's released a statement today saying how bitterly disappointed she wasn't able to go to Canada. He's got the big picture, because obviously he gets the big role in time. So he's got to be understanding of everything that's going on. Now there's talk, obviously, will Princess Eugenie and Beatrice get more into the fold, as a possibility. There are even speculation that Zara Tindall might. I don't think Zara Tindall would want to come back in those circumstances at all. But what Eugenie and Beatrice might be two who could step up. But obviously, again, that's not straightforward, given that they are the daughter of the ostracized Duke of York. So it's not straightforward. But if William is calling the shot, and ultimately the breakdown of his relationship with Harry is desperately sad, but the only way that relationship can be restored, while William is being the enforcer, is for Harry to say, "I've messed up, bro."
Yeah.
Or words to that effect.
Yes.
And then this might be, where do we go?
Just to make this the nice, clean line for all the outlets that pick this up, Rupert Bell says Harry needs to apologize.
Well, he does. I mean, in a sense, look, there are always, in any situation, there are two sides to every coin. But where the royal family don't lie is, why does he feel the need at every verse end to air his dirty laundry in public? And sorry, that's the problem. And so William wants control of the royal family. He's trying to control his wife not in terms of where with the public, because that's not straightforward. Because it's both, not only the physical, we talked about this before, it's not just the mental side of it, it's the physical side. Because it's not easy putting yourself in the spotlight like that. You're on the show, and that's why the problem for the Princess of Wales, maybe physically she is getting better, but is she mentally ready? And William wants to control everything in that. Now, people might say he's over the top. I don't know whether he is or isn't. But someone has to take control while the king is recovering. He should be focusing on that. He's doing plenty of duties. We're seeing him non-stop. We had the Emperor and Empress of Japan recently. And there'll be other events that he'll be attending to. And look, the Princess Royal not being around for a bit has suddenly left them even shorter of personnel. So they are short-staffed. The Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh can't do everything.
Right.
So it is complicated.
They are, but they can't. So, yeah, that's absolutely.
Well, they can't. So it is not an easy transition. So if there's any truth in that story, I think it's an easy story to write, because you could assume, but there does need to be a focus about the royal family, so they do their job in difficult circumstances to the best of their opinion, so that they keep public opinion on their side. And at the moment, there's a lot of public opinion that's on their side. You saw it at Ascot, the outpouring and the warmth that the King and Queen had, and other members of the royal family, because they know they're going, it's not any family going through that with two family members recovering from cancer is never an easy situation. So whatever, the royal family needs some sense of direction. And if William is the man to do it, then so be it. I mean, yesterday he was very happy that England managed to get an equaliser in the 95th minute and through. So he was tweeting last night. I hope he was sitting down with George and the rest of the family, angrily shouting at the television until the 95th minute, like we all did. And then suddenly we all go, "Oh, this is given." So I'm sure he was leading that. He was probably, like every other English football fan, as frustrated as the rest of us, because he did go last week to one of the games. So he is, as we know, a passionate Aston Villa supporter, my team, and he's also president of the FA as well. So I'm sure he'll be hoping that he might be able to go to the final in a couple of weeks' time, which is on actually, I think, Wimbledon's finals day as well. So it might be that his wife goes to Wimbledon and he goes off to Germany to watch England in the European Cup final.
Wow, that would be wild. But thank you, because I think that's the greatest visual to end on with this episode. Prince William on the couch, surrounded by the family, and them all jumping out of their seats, cheering on the football. That is hilarious. So thank you for that visual. Rupert Bell, I'm going to be watching you so closely on social media to see if the Princess of Wales shows up. So I'm so glad I have a source in the know, a source on the ground.
Well, I'm looking forward to my fortnight watching top-class tennis, and then that while keeping abreast of everything else that's going on. And now I'm off to the Open Golf Championship after that. So, never mind.
You're just a jet setter, Rupert. I'm so lucky that I get you. I'm so lucky you take time for me. All right, if you like us, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you agree with us, disagree with us, leave a comment below. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the page, and we'll see you next week on Heirs and Spares.